I'm excited today. I really am. I think we've got just the most amazing keynote speaker. Antoine Dupont not only is an incredible speaker, he's also the winner of the LP Fin Lookalike Contest that we had earlier today. I could go on about how great this guy is and how much he's done, and he's traveled the world delivering his message of empowerment to realtors and business people around the country and around the world. But I'm going to let him tell you everything. So, Antoine, please come up. Let's get this party started, and thank you for being here today. Give him a big round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much for having me, and thank you for the Fin family and for all of you being here this morning. So in case you haven't figured out with my first and last name, Antoine Dupont, I'm originally from Paris, France. Ooh la la. Which is why once in a while I put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. So if I do, please indulge me. And my first boss was this guy, Gordon Ramsay, in a restaurant called Le Gavroche in London. So in case you don't like this presentation, you want to give me the business, bring it on. I've heard everything. All right, so here we are. Woo, that was loud. Here we are in 2019 trying to grow. We want to grow our business. We want more leads, and we're faced with this. And there's trying to figure it out. Well, how do we do this? And I don't know if you've noticed, but there's actually two applications or two apps here that are no longer part of the equation. They've actually been canceled. Vine and Google+, they're gone. And it pretty much leaves us in this state. We're not quite sure what to make of this. How do I grow? 2019. So we're left confused, overwhelmed. It certainly doesn't work like it used to. It used to be easier, right? We went to a meeting, shake a hand, and now we have to have all this stuff that we have to know and work our phone and all this stuff. It's really crazy. And we're told by marketers, smart guys like me, that we have to interact and engage so we can raise awareness, we can create trust, and especially what we want is loyalty. Yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to have a plan for loyalty. So we're sold by marketers this system. We need to have a funnel, because at the top of the funnel, you get leads and opportunity and sales calls and connections and follow-up and conversations and sales and persistence. I know one of the things that's funny, I'm going to I'm going to tell you a little secret here. Do you know that all the people that actually are selling funnels or telling you that you need to have a funnels are people that sells ad? Isn't that interesting? So they're saying, okay, so I don't get it. So do you have like a better explanation of how funnel works? And say, yeah, this is what you need to do. SEO and click-throughs, and you have the tofu, the mofu, and the bofu. I actually tried tofu for the first time last week. It's horrible. Don't try it. But you have all this stuff and leads and prospects, and again, you will have loyalty. And you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. What is a funnel? Wait, I got a better one. This is a bow tie funnel. Now we're going to hit them from both sides. And now we're going to put ads and videos, and we're going to do all this stuff. And in the middle, we'll have all this money and all this traffic. All that for loyalty. But what if I were to tell you that loyalty, or what we're chasing, is really a bunch of baloney? It's not. It's not about loyalty. There is, a matter of fact, the research done by Accenture said that, in fact, our research revealed that we're most likely to have a negative reaction to a company's attempt to earn our loyalty. I went to CVS the other day just to buy a pack of gum, and the lady says, do you have the loyalty card? I'm like, I'm here for a pack of gum. Leave me alone. CVS, Walgreens, tastes like chicken for me. It's the same stuff. 87% of us like to shop around. Yeah, we like to shop around, actually. We don't like, loyalty is, we'll be loyal to a brand if they're good to us. But overall, 87% of us like to shop around. That's what we like to do. We like choices. And then we're told disruption is now here. Disruption. Everything's disrupted. It's now here. Or is it nowhere? Actually, disruption is nothing new. There's nothing new about disruption. Disruption has been here for a long time. And some of you that are in my age group, you've seen it. There is a great book by Marketing Rebellion by Mark Schaefer. And here is how he illustrates that. In the 1950s, this is how marketers used to market to us. It's a true story. Forget milk. Give your kids 7-Up. Nothing does it like 7-Up. Or like more doctors, more camels. Who remembers doctor smoking in the office? Who remembers that? I remember that. The doctor would be like smoking, and it's like, yes, what is it? Well, little Antoine here, he's got an asthma problem. Really? Come here, kiddo. Let me, it was insane. Want to face the fact, fatso? You want to lose weight? Smoke a Loki strike. That's what's going to do it. Or this one, Santa with a cigarette. That's what they did. 1950s. The best one. They're young, they're in love. They eat lard. True story. So the first disruption was stop lying to us. The FTC and the FDA actually stepped in and says, you cannot lie anymore like this to people. You cannot tell people, you know what, have cocaine for a little while, you will lose weight. I'm like, what? So the second disruption that we have is best illustrated with a sound. So I'm going to play this sound, and I'm going to see if some of you recognize it. Who remembers it? Remember that? Oh my God! What's happening? It took 30 seconds to come on. All right, I'm going to stop this. This is crazy. The home PC, that was the second disruption that we saw in our lifetime. Did anyone doesn't remember that sound? Raise your hand. Okay, nobody's brave enough. Once in a while, I have one person. I'm like, oh, one person. You don't remember it. I'm sorry, man. It was the best. 30 seconds. I remember the first time I had that, I went on the internet and I opened up, I put the first website, which was CNN. That's what I remember. And they had a website, so CNN.com, because you had to type HTTP://. And I was like, oh my God. And it actually said it would take 48 minutes for the website to load. 48 minutes. I had a crappy connection. So I went in the garage, did some stuff, came back, and I still had another 10 minutes. And then, so I came back, finally, CNN opens up, and I open an article, and another 48 minutes. I'm like, forget about this. Then we got connected to the world. We got connected to everything. We suddenly had access to it all. Everything was there. And Google became a verb. Why don't you Google this? What is he doing? He's Googling it. It's a verb. That's how this is in our lives. So the second disruption was the end of secrets. You don't have any more secrets on us. We have access to everything. Stop lying. No more secrets. Now, for the third disruption, I have an idea. And it's an idea for a retail store, and I'm looking for investors, right? So I'm going to pitch you the idea, and then if you're interested, I'm looking for big donors. So here's the idea for a retail store. It will have no advertisement. We won't advertise at all. There will be no aisle signage whatsoever. We won't bag the groceries. You're on your own. You bag your own crap. And you will have to pay to shop there. All right, so I'm looking for $25,000 investors. Who's in? Raise your hand. Who's in? Come on, guys. I have some people. You guys are brave. You probably know what it is. Welcome to Costco. Yeah. Costco, where you can buy 48 rolls of toilet paper and actually be happy about it. We're still going through it in my home. I'm like, 48, what are we going to do? It's an amazing place. There's no advertisement, no signage, they don't bag your groceries, and you have to pay to shop there. So why is it working? And why is this the third disruption? Well, it's a good company. They pay their employees well. They're environmentally friendly. It's a good experience. Mom gets to go and push the cart and go and buy some stuff, and she's all happy. And I get to go in the technology department and look at these technology that I don't need and I can't afford. Then I call her and I said, there is an amazing deal on a 65-inch plasma screen. And her answer is, no, no. I'm like, I take that as a maybe. And who could forget? $1.50 for a hot dog and a soda. That's Costco. So it's not connected to you by advertisement. And when I told that to my wife, she said, that's not true. I get an email. I'm like, yes, because you're a member. If you're not a member, you're not getting advertised by them. There's no sales funnel. There's no sales funnel whatsoever in their practice. And there's no annoying telemarketer calling you, hey, how about now? We want to shop at Costco? Mm-mm. It's because we have an emotional connection to Costco. Yeah. We are. We actually love going there. So the third disruption is actually consumer-driven. We get to feel a different way about it. And that's where we are right now today. That's the space that we're in. 57% of the decision to buy a product or service in 2019 is made without you. And in the extreme case, it's up to 70%. We're already emotionally connected. We already have all the information we need to make a decision. A company is no longer what we tell the customer it is. It is what you tell each other it is. Now, I know you guys are great people. I can already tell that. And I know that none of you would ever skip on an ad, right? No, you guys are salespeople. You would actually give people, like, come on, you know, they've worked hard, they created an ad, right? You're going to watch it, right? All right, raise your hand if you systematically, and I mean systematically, skip on every single ad. Raise your hand and look around. Look around. Everywhere I go, it's over 90% of the room. We skip on every single ad. If you watch television, you have your DVR. We call it zip zip at home. My wife was like, zip zip. I'm like, I'm sorry, zip zip. So I have to zip through the commercials. We don't want to watch it. You don't want to watch my commercials. I don't want to watch your commercial. They don't want to watch yours. You don't want to watch them. We don't want it. No ads, no funnels, no loyalty. None of this actually matters. So now what, Uncle Fester? Well, I'm going to share with you 4 principles. 4 principles from 4 thought leaders in the marketing space in our world that are absolutely amazing. And the first principle is from a guy by the name of Philip Kotler, this young guy here. And he wrote a book called The Principles of Marketing, and it's in 17th edition. The first edition was created in 1992. This is pretty much the marketing Bible. That's what they give you in school if you study marketing. You get the principles of marketing. And one of the things that has been constant throughout since 1992, he says that marketing is the convergence of anthropology, psychology, and sociology. In other words, marketing is everything human. And if you want to succeed with generating more leads, you need to understand human beings. That's why we flock to those things. Facebook group has never been more popular. We go to a like-minded group. Raise your hand if you belong to a Facebook group. Come on, raise it, look around, everybody, almost everybody. The LinkedIn group, the same thing. We actually flock to like-minded group. That's what we do as human beings. Now, I'm going to show you a commercial to illustrate that point from Procter & Gamble. Everybody has heard of Procter & Gamble, okay? All right, so you guys ready? Watch this.
Давай пошли. Ой, осторожнее. Bin ein. Nochmal, Schätzchen. Here we go. I know, it's cold. Nice shot, buddy.
P&G, proud sponsor of moms.
Yeah, I see some few teary eyes here. You need a Kleenex? It gets me every time. I'm not a mom, and it gets me every time. So what did they do right here? Well, the customer is the hero. The customer is the marketer. You're the guide. It's not about you. It's about them. So that's the first principles. They're the hero. It's about the family that has saved for 10 years to finally buy a house. It's about the single mom that buys a condo, right? It's about them. Nobody cares about your open house. You get it? It's about them. Make them the hero of your story. And it will have the same impact as P&G. All right, second principle. The second principle is from a guy by the name of Jay Baer, and he wrote a book called Talk Triggers. And he says that the best way to grow your business is to have your customers do it for you with word of mouth. And word of mouth is the single most persuasive factor that people use to make decisions. The single most. 83% of people said that they were more likely to buy a product or service based on someone's reference or someone saying them that's a good company. 83%. That's a staggering number. And yet, when I ask business owners around the United States, and I say, what is your written word-of-mouth strategy with specific measurable results? I hear crickets. Well, it's 83% of us are making decisions based on that. So competency doesn't create conversation. Being competent doesn't. Just showing up on time, having a clean suit, having a business card, having a printed paper about the house you're about to sell. We expect good. We expect that. I mean, I know some people show up late. I know. I've gone through it with realtors in the last 10 years, and some of them, you're like, seriously? But showing up on time, we expect that. That's the baseline. We talk about awful and awesome. We don't talk about good or average. We don't. I got stuck for 3 hours on the tarmac. 3 hours. No AC, no water. That was awful. We talk about that. And awesome. And I'm going to show you an example of awesome, how people are talking about a company. But we don't talk in the middle. So if you are going to create a word-of-mouth strategy, it needs to have these 4 points. It needs to be remarkable, it needs to be repeatable, it needs to be reasonable, it needs to be relevant. Let me explain with a case study. Skip's Kitchen in Sacramento, California. Now, Skip's Kitchen is a restaurant that serves hamburgers, patty melts, French fries, milkshake, and sodas. Your quintessential American diner. And their burgers are good. Their food is good. You look at the restaurant, it's nothing really fancy. But there's one thing that they do. After you place your order, you go to the cashier, and the cashier will open up a deck of cards. It says, here are 52 cards, pick one. And if you pick one of the 2 jokers, your meal is free. And people go batshit crazy. Pardon my French. They do. They're like, oh my God, I won! Selfie, yes! Mom, I can't believe! They're crying. Just because they want a meal. Guess what their marketing budget is? On average, they get 3 people a day that pull the card. Average meal in that restaurant is $15 to $18. They're spending $50 a day. Just on that simple thing. So it needs to be remarkable. What we mean by remarkable, it is worthy of remark. People will talk about it. Sometimes we think that remarkable has to be extraordinary. No, it's worthy of remark. And it doesn't have to be complicated. A deck of cards is not complicated at all. Then it needs to be repeatable. It's everybody, every day. It's not just the VIP or just the people that order this. It's everybody, every day. Always. 24/7, 7 days a week. It needs to be reasonable too. It doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. Giving people a free meal of $50 a day for a restaurant is not expensive. Like, for example, DoubleTree hotels, they give you a warm cookie when you check in. It's simple, but you're getting a warm cookie. Actually, people would prefer to all go to DoubleTree because everybody, mom, dad, and the 2 kids, everybody gets a warm cookie. She literally turns around, goes in the little oven, gets 4 cookies and a napkin and gives it to you. And you're like, oh, thank you. Simple. It's not expensive, but it's remarkable. It needs to be relevant. What I mean by relevant is if the restaurant gives the cookie, it's like, well, it's a restaurant. They have a cookie. It's no big deal. They give you a cookie. It's relevant for the hotel because it's unexpected. Who gives you a warm cookie when you get in a hotel? Right? And vice versa would kind of be weird. And like the cruise when they're saying, everybody, you win a cruise if you play. Yeah, I've never won a cruise or a TV or anything. I don't know about you, but all these games, I find them a little suspicious. So the 4 elements, what you can look at it from your perspective as a real estate agent for a word-of-mouth strategy, it needs to be generous. So it needs to be more generous than they expect. But it doesn't mean you have to spend a fortune. Like a free meal or a cookie is not a fortune, but it's a little bit more generous than you would expect. It has to be faster than expected. Another way you could do it is responsiveness, faster than they expect. There's an accounting firm in Atlanta that actually will guarantee that they will return your call within 5 minutes. And they're known for that. They will return your call within 5 minutes. They're super fast. And there's plenty of people that actually use responsiveness super fast. That has to be useful. There's a real estate company that we work with in Chicago. They actually bought a moving truck. And everybody that buys or sells a house with their agency gets to use the truck. There's actually people calling the agency, says, can we get the truck? And they're like, you didn't buy or sell a house with us. Well, you advertise a free truck. Yeah, if you buy or sell a house. Now, people are getting to talk about them just because of that. And you need to have empathy. Buying or selling a house is an emotional journey. There's the ups and downs. So you need to have empathy for people with the troubles that they're going through. And you know that. You've sold houses to lots of people, and you know that there's a lot of up and down. So the second principle is you need to be remarkable. It needs to be remarkable word-of-mouth strategy. Like, people need to talk about it. All right, the third principle. The third principle is by a gentleman by the name of Marcus Sheridan. He wrote a book called They Ask, You Answer. And he says that there are 5 subjects that every buyer wants to know. Every single buyer, regardless of what they buy, whether it's a product or a service. All the decision, whether you want to buy a refrigerator, whether you want to buy a computer, whether you want to buy a car, whether you want to buy a house, you have those 5 questions, and those 5 questions need an answer. So there are cost, problem, comparisons, reviews, and best. So how much does it cost? How much does it cost to buy a house in this neighborhood? How much does it cost for a house in this area? How much does it cost for a 4-bedroom? We want to know. How much does it cost for a home inspection? They want to know that question. And if you didn't answer that question, they'll look at it from someone else. They'll find it. What are the potential problems? What is the potential problem with that neighborhood, or with that town, or with that real estate market? They want to know those questions. You do when you look for something. They do the same thing. The third one is this or that. Compare. This neighborhood versus this neighborhood. This town versus this town. A 4-bedroom versus a 3-bedroom. That's the questions they have. Like, if I wanted to buy a house and I wanted to buy a house in Long Island, I would want to know all those questions. I don't know anything about Long Island. I would want to know all these questions. And I want to see reviews, school reviews, neighborhood reviews, reviews about everything. You do it. Every time you're looking for a product and service, you'll look for a review, right? Well, they want to do the same thing. And what is the best? What is the best neighborhood to buy a house? What is the best real estate company? They're going to look. So these are the subjects that move every single buying decision, period. You do it, I do it, we all do it. So I'm giving you a tip. I forgot this slide. This is a tip, and you want to take a picture of that because this is absolutely amazing. This is a website called Answer the Public. Who has never heard of Answer the Public? Ooh. Right, you've never, okay, it's awesome. So you go to Answer the Public, and it goes for the whopping price of free. And you go and put in a keyword in the box underneath this guy, and then you click on Get Questions. And that website will aggregate every single question on the internet around your keyword. Buying a home. All the questions, all the how, the what, the how, the when, the is, All the questions will be there. This is an amazing, absolutely amazing tool. I don't think it's going to stay free forever, but for right now, it's free. So use that tool. So there are 5 ways that you can answer those questions, because you need to be answering those questions, because if you don't, your competition will. And we already know that that's what they want to know. So you can answer the questions with a video. Actually, that would be my super strong recommendation, because we would rather consume video content. But you could also go on social media, have a post. You could create blogs. You can have a page on a website that answers those questions. And there's a lot of people that actually have a white paper download. There is a real estate agent in Tallahassee that has a 60-page white paper, how to sell a home on your own. No kidding. And this is his #1 source of lead. Yeah, because people go there, they download the white paper, they get a page 19, and they're like, ugh. Seriously? I have to do all this crap and all this paperwork and everything? They're like, can you do it for us? Yeah. So the third principle is they ask, you answer. They have questions, answer them. It's not complicated. And those questions are actually very simple. So the fourth principle. The fourth principle is by these 2 brothers here, the Heath brother, Chip and Dan. And they wrote a book called The Power of Moments. And what they did is they did a study on Walt Disney World. And they followed hundreds of families going through the experience of Disney World. And they asked them, how was your experience every hour on top of the hour? And here is what they got. So the first thing is when people arrive in the park, they have to park their car in a different county, walk, a whole bunch of stuff, get on the shuttle, and then go out there and take a train and be crammed up, and then you arrive in the park, and you have to wait in line. That experience is not great. It's a 3. People are like, okay, that was a 3. And then they get in the park. And the kids get to meet the character. They get to meet Mickey Mouse. That's a 9. That's a great experience. And then the kids are hungry. So they want to go in the restaurant. And they have to have the Mickey Mouse waffles. And then Dad gets to go and pay the bill. That was $75. Seriously. I didn't like that. That was a 3. That was a 2. And then, you get to go to the right. There we go. And that's a 10. Look at that. They're so happy. Everybody's having a good time. Yeah, that gets a 10. Whatever ride you're doing, that's a great experience. The kids will remember that. You do movies and all that. And then you step out the ride. Jesus Christ. Can I have this, please, Daddy? $45 piece of junk made in China. I hate my life. Fine, I'll buy it. And I'll know she'll never wear it. That was a 3. I didn't like that. And then, the end of the day, the fireworks. Yeah, the fireworks is magical. If you've been there, it's like amazing. I mean, they know how to put on a show. You got the lights and the fireworks, and it's really absolutely gorgeous. It's great. And that, people say, that was a 10. That was a 10. This was awesome. This capped the day, and this was great. So here's the thing about this study. When they tabulated the results for everybody, the average was a 5 or a 6 between the ups and down of their experience. But when they asked them, could you please rate your experience, your day at Disney World, they would say that was a 9. And the reason why they're saying a 9 is because it ended with the fireworks. See, people will be willing to forgive a lot of the ups and downs of the experience with you based on the final experience that they have with you. And you as realtors have an amazing opportunity there. Now, the first thing is we're going to put the sign. So you're going to put the post in the front lawn. That's an experience. That's fun. It happens, right? That's great. That's a good moment. And then we have to do the inspection. And that sucks. What do you mean I have to like redo my septic tank and change my electric box? It's been fine for 15 years, right? And then you get offers. Woohoo! We're getting offers. And then telling you one of the offers is for half what you're asking. Let me tell you what you tell this guy to do with his offer. He can stick it you know where. That's not good. And then you get a good offer, and they're buying your house. And then you're at the closing. And the closing, you need to make that an experience. The last home I sold, which actually was in December, we went to the closing, and the closing agent was doing the paperwork, and I know you've done it. I was like, sign here, sign here, sign here. Not here, sign here. And at the end, you know, the realtor was there, and she reached out in the bag, and she gave us a bottle of champagne, and she says, I'm sorry, I got to go. I go pick up my kids. And it was nice, but it was so anticlimactic. We had sold a house. My wife and I went on our own and said, okay, let's just go have lunch somewhere. We took the bottle of champagne, put it in the fridge. You have an opportunity there. You need to make this a peak moment. It needs to be a peak moment of experience. And you know it's going to have the up and down when you're selling a house. All the experience, you know, it's not always great, but you have an amazing opportunity. Not a lot of businesses actually have that opportunity, and you have it with the closing. So the fourth principle is you need to build peak moments into experience. You need to take advantage of that because you have them. And you also need to manage people. By the way, we're going to do the inspection. Chances are you may get upset. I'll be fine. What? Right? You know it. So how do you stand out and grow? How do you stand out in 2019 and grow? Well, first of all, you need to remember that they are the hero, not you. It's their story. Nobody really cares about your open house. We don't. Number two, it needs to be remarkable, not complicated, worthy of remark. Your word of mouth. Needs to be simple, effective, doesn't have to cost a fortune, but they have to remember you need to have your thing. Number three, they ask, you answer. Answer their question. What matters to them? Number four, end with a bang. Their closing experience. You need to make this memorable. You need to make this extraordinary. So, hopefully those 4 tips are going to help you make 2019 your best year and beyond. And maybe we'll stop chasing butterflies, you know, like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and do all this thing and just create what they actually really want. And they'll come to you. If you apply those techniques,